So why don't we start with your name, where you're from, and who you are?
All right, my name is Ronald Wilson. I'm from North Carolina. This is my husband, Greg.
I'm from New York, originally.
Well, and what is the name of your business, and how did you start it?
The name of our business is actually Rhinestone Master Creations. We actually started the business, me, started the business probably overall, we've been doing this probably about 25 years. But before we started doing this, we actually used to do hand beading and embellishments for pageants. So we did evening gowns, we did bridal and things like that. But we kind of veered away from that when we moved from the South to here. And during the pandemic, I was actually going to Runyon because, we couldn't get out and couldn't do anything. And I was taking my little ones with me. And I noticed everybody's dog looked kind of plain. And I was like, well, I want to do something a little extra for my dogs. So I actually just went home and made something for my dogs. And so I was taking them to Runyon, and I was getting a lot of response from it. And so I didn't really think anything about it. And then one day I was actually watching someone on YouTube, and they were like, if you're not using this time to start a business, what are you doing? And I was like, So I was like, hey, this is something that I already love to do, and it's way easier to do the harnesses for the dogs than it is to do a full-length beaded gown or, formal wear. So it was kind of birthed out of me actually wanting my dogs to be a little extra.
I make the clothes, all of them.
Yeah, let's not leave that.
He stones the clothes.
Yeah, he does. He makes all of the harnesses and all the collars that you see here. He makes them, and then I go back and do the embellishment. We are a team.
Tell us about your dogs. How many do you have?
So I have two. We have Dior and China. That's Miss China right there. She's my spokesmodel. So I always tell people I'm not just selling a dog product and not having dogs. So yeah, that's China and have Dior. They're brother and sister. They're actually a Shih Tzu and Pekingese mix, but we didn't know that until during the pandemic as well. But Dior tends to be a little bit more receptive to him, and then China is my little one.
That's cute. What are your styles inspired by? I know you said pageant. I also see a little bit, almost like a festival vibe sometimes.
Well, honestly, I would say our style or my style is all about extra and not being, being basic, honestly. Because again, there's so many people on the market that have dog products, but at the same time, they all are the same. So if you look at like my display of the products I have, every single item that I have is the only one of it. Unless somebody says, hey, I saw this one on this particular day, can you make me one like that? So it's all about individuality. It's kind of like how Melrose, everything is very eclectic, everything is very individual. So my whole thing was I wanted each person to feel like their dog had something that was special. So I would say it was about being individual, but at the same time about being a little bit extra.
Why and when did you decide to bring your business to the Melrose Stories?
Well, when we actually started the business, I was looking around. I was like, well, where, how can we showcase this in the middle of a pandemic? And I was just kind of like Googling, and I was like, best places, for handmade goods, and Melrose came up. And I was like, oh, okay. So we actually came out to actually see it because, again, from being from the South, we had never heard of it, and we live in North Hollywood. So if Waze doesn't tell me where to go, I don't know where it is. So we came down and kind of walked the market and kind of got a feel for the vibe, and we're like, oh yeah. And I love the fact that I saw dogs walking through, so I knew it was very pet friendly. Because of course, if you can't see it on your pet, you're not going to be able to connect to it. So that was the thing that actually connected us to it and how we found it.
How has it impacted you being here?
It's been amazing because, of course, being able to have a spot where, of course, when you're a new business starting, you can't invest all the money into like having a storefront and all that. But being able to do this on a regular basis has given us basically, I would say, like a pigeonhole or a place where people can always come and find our goods. Yeah. So it's being able to have like a small business without having to commit to, an absorbent amount of rent and everything like that. So it's been great in that aspect for us.
Yeah. Do you have any favorite vendors or just places that you love?
For me personally, my regular 9-to-5 job, I work in skincare. So my favorite vendor is actually Nina's Organics. I love her skincare. I mean, I actually use them. And the funny part is I'm so invested in it. Like, I get skincare products for free from the company that I work for. But I use hers every single day because I love the fact that they're all natural. They don't have any crazy preservatives in it. I can look at it and it's not all these extra fillers and stuff. So that's my favorite brand that's here.
I love her too. Do you have any favorites here right now that you have on display? Or
You know, my love right now, because I just created it, would be our wave collars. That's our newest addition here. And the reason that we created it, again, we were looking, again, I'm always trying to kind of do something a little extra and different. We started doing the regular collars here, and I was like, And one day he was like, why don't we try something a little bit different? Yeah. And we were looking at some pageant thing and we saw like this beautiful spread. And then it reminded me of like Marilyn Monroe. Remember when she did the Diamonds Are a Girl's Best Friend kind of thing? So when we started, the whole thing was about having like that opulent collar around it. And I always tell people with these are a little bit different. They're not designed to be like your regular choker that fits up here. It's designed to lay like a beautiful spread. So this is my baby right now. And then I did like ones with like little skulls and stuff. So this one with the 3D butterfly that's on it. So again, everything is all inspired about doing something different.
What's your favorite memory at MCC?
You know, I would have to say my favorite memory when so far is going into this season where, of course, in California, it's always hot, and having people come through with their dogs and having them, you know, seeing them kind of hobble along and being able to let them know that we have shoes here. And a lot of times people tend to think shoes are just foo-foo and they're just, you know, just a little cutesy thing. But of course we know, and I love the fact that Melrose has a sign in the front letting you know that once it's 77 to 75 degrees outside, it's 125 on this hard concrete form. So being able to have a puppy or a little dog come in and put the shoes on and have them kind of wobble, and then the next thing you know, you see them trucking along and know that it's protecting their feet. So that is, I would say, my favorite memory every week is being able to see that and know that when they're walking through, they're stylish, but they're also protecting their paws. Thank you guys so much. We're very honored.
Thank you.
And we love being here. Guys, come out. You always are going to find something that's going to be one of a kind, very eclectic, and you don't have to blend in, where everyone is included.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you so much.